Hello, and welcome to the 7th and final episode in my series looking at ICAO's articles. In this video, we will have a look at Articles 71 to 96 and how they impact aviation. If a state does not wish to run their aviation facilities, such as airports, and navigation facilities, such as radio and meteorological services, they may ask ICAO to run them on their behalf. ICAO reserves the right to charge a fair and reasonable amount of money for these services. If a state wishes ICAO to run facilities for them, they have to provide ICAO land upon which to use. They don't have to provide the title for the land to ICAO. Article 73 just covers financial info, we can skip this. If ICAO is involved in providing airports or other facilities, ICAO may also offer technical assistance to the state for running the facilities. They may also take some of the airport's revenue to pay for their services. If ICAO has funded or part-funded an airport, the state can take back control of the airport at any time, but the previous articles still apply, so ICAO can continue to receive payment. Article 76 once again just covers financial info, we can skip this. Article 77 is an important one. It permits states to set up joint organisations that allow for states to pool their resources together to centrally manage their ICAO requirements. The most well-known example of this would be the European Aviation Safety Agency, otherwise known as EASA. We will have a separate video on EASA in the near future. The Council may suggest to contracting states concerned that they form joint organisations to operate air services on any routes or in any regions. States are permitted to participate in joint operating organisations. This is also covered in Article 77. Article 80 declares that the Convention supersedes the Paris and Habana Conventions, both of which predate ICAO. If a state has any aeronautical agreements with other states, it has to let ICAO know about these agreements. Article 82 covers the abrogation of inconsistent arrangements. It helps to know what the word abrogate means. Here, it refers to the repealing of a law. In this case, it refers to repealing any arrangements that a state has that would conflict with the convention upon joining ICAO. States are allowed to make arrangements with other states separate to ICAO. However, they have to inform ICAO of any arrangements they have. Article 83 BIS was added in 1980, and it finally came into force in 1997. Basically, it's aimed at dealing with an increasing number of internationally leased aircraft. If an aircraft registered in State A is leased to an operator based in State B, the states can come to an agreement to transfer some or all of the responsibilities and functions of the registration holder to the operator. Effectively, this relieves the registration holder of responsibility. If two or more states disagree on how to interpret the convention, the Council shall resolve this by a vote. If one of the states in the disagreement is in the Council, they obviously can't vote on this particular issue themselves. Article 85 describes who is allowed to arbitrate a dispute between two states. Again, we don't really need to go into detail here. Any decision the Council makes about whether an airline is allowed to operate is final unless it is reversed by an appeal. States have to ensure that any airline that does not conform with the convention is prevented from operating. If a state is found not to be conforming with the convention, the Assembly shall suspend its voting power. Article 89 ensures that the convention does not interfere with states' rights to act as necessary in a state of war or national emergency. In order for a change or addition to the annexes to be approved, 2/3 of states need to vote in favour. If an amendment is approved, the change comes into effect in 3 months. Member states of ICAO ratify something to join. I've not been able to find information on exactly the documents or other things that are ratified as part of this, but these items are held by the US government. Article 92 describes who is eligible to join ICAO. If you are a UN member, you are automatically eligible. This covers the vast majority of nations in the world. Additionally, when it was written, neutral states in the Cold War were able to join. In order to join ICAO, a state has to notify the US government. Article 93 provides provision for states that aren't in the UN and are potentially at war to join ICAO. In order for this to happen, 80% of the Assembly has to vote in favour, and if the state is at war with any existing ICAO member states, these states have to approve the request. Article 93 BIS was actually developed during the first ever session of the Assembly in 1947. However, it didn't come into force until 1961. It outlines that if the UN General Council requests a state be debarred from membership in international agencies, they will automatically have their ICAO membership revoked. Additionally, if a state is expelled from the UN altogether, their ICAO membership is automatically revoked. For an amendment to the Convention to be approved, 2/3 of states must vote to approve it. Article 95 is similar to the now famous EU Article 50. It is how a state leaves ICAO. Once a state decides to leave, the effects of leaving take effect within 1 year. The final article is just used to define words and phrases used in the previous articles. I will have covered any cases where I've used terminology that may be confusing. Well, congratulations on making it to the end. I'm aware that this isn't the most exciting of topics, but the ICAO Convention underpins literally all international aviation, so it's very important to have at least a general understanding of its contents. In future videos, I will develop a quiz to test your understanding on some of the key articles in the Convention. In a later mini-series, we will also take a look at ICAO's standard and recommended procedures. For now though, we will begin looking at EASA and how it fits both with ICAO and individual states. As always, if you have any corrections or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.